Greetings, beautiful and brilliant brothers and sisters of the African diaspora. We stand at a crossroads in our human rights journey for liberation. Our political fight for equality extends beyond the streets and into the classrooms where our children's minds are shaped. We must confront a subtle yet insidious form of oppression, neocolonial education by Jesuit indoctrination. This system of commerce, with its roots in our colonial past, seeks to control our present and limit our future with debt liability. For too long, our children have been fed a distorted narrative, a narrative that diminishes our history, our contributions, and our very humanity. This is not by accident, this is by Jesuit design. Neocolonial education seeks to keep us mentally enslaved under the Jesuit status quo. It wants us to believe that we are inferior, that our culture is irrelevant, and that our destiny is predetermined by others at the United Nations. We must break free from these mental chains of inferiority. Our children deserve a human rights education that empowers them in private diplomacy, a human rights education that celebrates their cultural heritage, a human rights education that prepares them to be architects of their own destinies within the matrix. This is a call to human rights awareness, a call to political action. Let us reclaim our children's minds and, in doing so, reclaim our future. We must be vigilant. We must be informed of the Human Rights Covenant. And we must be unwavering in our demand for a human rights education system that truly serves the needs of our children. The time for change is now 2024.
To dismantle neocolonial education, we must understand its Jesuit origins. Colonial powers, in their insatiable thirst for domination, understood the power of education. They used it as a tool to control the colonized mind. By imposing their language, their culture, and their worldview, they sought to erase our identities and replace them with their own paradigm. Missionary schools, often the first point of contact with Western education, played a key role in this cultural genocide. They taught our ancestors that their traditions were backwards, their beliefs were savage, and their very existence was a curse. This systematic denigration of our cultural heritage left deep scars on the collective psyche of our people. Though colonialism has officially ended under the unanimous UN Resolution 1514 of 1960, its legacy lives on in our education systems. The curriculum, often Eurocentric in its focus, continues to privilege the perspectives and experiences of the British colonizer over the colonized people of African descent. This perpetuates a cycle of self-doubt and internalized racism, hindering the development of a strong and positive self-image for our children.
Neocolonialism operates subtly, weaving its tendrils into the very fabric of every school curriculum. It's in the history books that glorify British colonizers while relegating our African ancestors to footnotes. It's in the literature that celebrates European authors while ignoring the rich tapestry of African storytelling. It's in the science and mathematics that present Western discoveries as the pinnacle of human achievement, erasing the contributions of indigenous civilizations that came before. This Eurocentric lens distorts reality and perpetuates harmful stereotypes. It teaches our children to view the world through a lens of white supremacy. Unconsciously internalizing their own political inferiority, they learn to aspire to be like their money-making oppressors rather than embracing their own unique identities and potential. We must critically examine the curriculum and demand its decolonization with human rights law. We must insist on the inclusion of diverse perspectives, histories, and narratives that reflect the richness and complexity of our modern world of political choices. Only then can we create a human rights education system that empowers our children to embrace their cultural heritage, celebrate their indigenous culture, and step confidently into their rightful place as equals on the global stage.
Section 4. Reclaiming our narrative, the power of representation in human rights education. Imagine the impact of a child seeing themselves reflected in their human rights education. Imagine the sense of pride and belonging that comes from learning about the achievements of their ancestors. Imagine the possibilities that open up when they realize that they too can achieve greatness. Human rights representation matters. It shapes our understanding of the modern world of social democracy and our place in it. When our children are constantly bombarded with images and narratives that center whiteness, it sends a powerful message that they are not worthy of being seen, heard, or valued. Let us introduce our children to the brilliance of our ancestors. Let them learn about the kingdoms of Kush and Mali. Let them be inspired by the courage of Queen Nzinga and the divine Ethiopian wisdom of Emperor Haile Selassie I. Let them see themselves in the 14th century Black biblical icons of Kristos, a testament to our enduring faith and resilience in Afrocentric Kristos consciousness.
Article 26, Section 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states that parents have a prior international right to choose the kind of human rights education that shall be given to their children in public school curriculums. This principle underscores the importance of educational justice. It's a reminder that every child deserves a human rights education that respects their cultural heritage and indigenous identity. When we honor this human right, we pave the way for a more inclusive and equitable society. It's not just about providing access to human rights education. It's about ensuring that a human rights education is meaningful and empowering for every child, everywhere.
Parents and educators, the time to act is now. We must demand human rights curricula that reflect the rich diversity of our histories and cultures. We must advocate for teaching materials that celebrate our heroes and heroines and that tell our stories with accuracy and respect. By doing so, we empower our children to see themselves as capable, valuable, and essential members of the human community. We must work together to create learning environments where every child feels special, is seen, heard, and valued. Let's build a future where our children can thrive, knowing that their cultural heritage is a source of strength and pride. Come out in your numbers on August 30th, 2024, 11 a.m. at the Ministry of Education Heroes, Circle Kingston, Jamaica, and together, we the people will force the Jesuit-taught politicians to concede to our lawful human rights demands. Contact Kingdom of Debris Zeit 2020 at gmail.com.